right, we're going to go ahead and get started and get the evening moving along. Please go ahead and take your seats. We are so grateful to have everyone here tonight. Welcome and thank you all for joining us in this memorable evening at Reframe to Reform's inaugural event. I am Callie Saiz, the founder and president of Reframe to Reform, and I am honored to get to share this evening with you all. I would be remiss if I did not share a little bit about Reframe to Reform's origin story and some of the beliefs that have shaped the foundation of this. For over a decade, I have had the honor of working within the human service and behavioral health sector. Working in these arenas, a common theme I saw was whether working with the children of parents struggling within their own addictions, low points, and moments of feeling lost, or working with the adults themselves within the confines of the systems that hold human beings in place while they await their fate on choices they have made. I began to realize these are the same people being served, just at a different stage and place in their lives. Yes, the faces may be different, and they may quite literally be someone new, but the reality is, it is just a different stage of a person's life when we get to interact with them. When I realized this, it also reinforced my understanding that we work within multiple broken systems, and these breaking points have profound effects on the people we are supposed to be serving. Reframe to Reform was founded on the belief that every person has innate human dignity and worth, and that past mistakes do not negate this. Seeing firsthand the treatment of these human beings within the broken systems we work in has had a profound impact on my perspective, and would like to share some of that with you today. Working within broken systems throughout the COVID-19 pandemic shed light on many opportunities that we have as a society for growth and better understanding. Suffering seems to be a fundamental part of the human condition, but the exasperated circumstances and tangible suffering that can occur behind cell doors is not one I feel many in society directly experience. And to be frank, it is my hope that you do not experience or witness it firsthand in order for us to comprehend what needs to be understood. I myself did not comprehend it until working within a mental health unit, where resources were scarce, staff were burnt out and overwhelmed, jadedness seemed to be the way through, and the people meant to be served were the ones going without. Whether it was inedible food, mistreatment by staff, people sitting in their own filth and the filth of their environments for extended periods of time without any relief, while hope is lost and their fate seems to be hanging in the balance. I have seen the exhaustion on staff's faces when they have checked out. I have felt the weight of being responsible to support hundreds of people and being safe in a system that does not always provide actual safety. When people believe going to a space where they are supposed to be more supported is actually a form of punishment, we must ask ourselves what needs to change when the two are not distinguishable. I saw caring faces on both sides, but I also saw the toll the pandemic took on spirits and on humanity, and the ripple effect this had on those confined to a cell. The smell and sounds of human suffering is not simply one that washes off your clothes after a long day's work. It imprints in your mind, and it calls us to draw attention to changes that need to occur within the broken systems at hand. Today, we will acknowledge some of the work which has been happening and some of the areas which still need to be addressed. This mission starts with awareness, and my hope is that you will leave here today with a little more compassion in your heart for those directly impacted by the criminal justice system. Thank you.
Hey everyone, it's Rachel, your drop-in PO. Let me tell you some of the misconceptions I hear about justice-involved people, that they're bad humans, lazy, broken. I want you to know that in my career as a probation officer, I have sat and walked alongside many people who are navigating our justice system. And one thing I'll tell you is that a lot of people are hurt, sad, and they lose hope when things get really hard. But what I will say is the resilience and the hope that is a dynamic factor, right? Sometimes it's low, sometimes it's high, that people have resilience and determination to live out their life's journey differently. And as humans, imagine if we were remembered for the worst thing we ever did. A lot of us are probably sitting here thinking about that moment and thanking the universe to be that people don't know about it. But for folks that have gotten caught and that are now navigating a space where people are watching them, monitoring them, it's something we have to consider. And so when I think about successful reentry and what it means for people to be coming out of our system, what does it look like to support them along the way? What that means is that our resource agencies, human services, probation, the health department, that everyone is coming out of their silos and working together as a team to come alongside folks. I also think as a community and as individuals in the community, we play a role in this too. How do we create community for folks that are trying new skills, walking new paths, putting themselves out there in vulnerable ways that maybe they never had before, and as community coming alongside one another? We have to get rid of this us versus them and understand that it's really just only us. And us as humans have to come together to create the communities and the support that we all need and contribute to create the safe places and communities we want to live in.
If you're tuning in, there's a high probability that you are a stakeholder and have been impacted in some way by incarceration. And so I was recently asked what my experience has been with what I think the criminal justice system is currently missing. So let me color a picture for you. Imagine coming home from prison like stepping off a storm-battered ship onto a shore that's both familiar and strange. You carry the salt of hard seas in your bones and the weight of the journey on your shoulders. What you want, deep down, just like anyone else, is simple. A safe harbor to rest, a place to grow roots, work that gives you purpose, love that fills your heart, and a chance to belong. But imagine if that shore turns its back and looks away. It tells you a different story, that you're still lost at sea, drifting apart from the world that you want to join. True attunement is the lighthouse beam cutting through the fog, steady, welcoming, and unwavering. It says, I see your voyage, I honor your struggle. You belong here. Let's help you build your home. Because everyone, no matter the journey, deserves a safe place to land. We often hear that empathy is the key to connection, but empathy alone can sometimes feel like pity, like saying I feel sorry for you, without really being present. That's where attunement comes in. Attunement means tuning in deeply to someone's emotions, responding in a way that makes them feel truly seen and understood. Put simply, empathy says, I get it, where attunement says, I'm here with you. And that presence transforms connection from surface to soul. The power of attunement is being seen, heard, and understood. All these folks that I've worked with over the last several years, all they really wanted is to just be seen, to be heard, and to be understood. That is what is missing.
In his book, The House of the Dead, he said the degree of a civilization in a society can be judged by entering its prisons, right? So what do that say about us as a society? My lesson was that me not listening to my mom, it put me in a situation where I could be falsely accused of a crime that I didn't commit, and ultimately had me in prison for 30 years. Just being around that, a lot of individuals in prison are suffering, right? And this suffering is serious. You know, prisoners are humans. We are people. Prisoner rights, I feel like, are human rights. And I feel that it behooves society to care more about what's happening inside. Prison is just not made to punish. It's not made to deter. It's also is for rehabilitation. It's for treatment. It's for individuals to get better. 95% of individuals are going to be released at some point, right? So it behooves the community and people on the outside to say, hey, we got to make sure that these prisoners are being treated right, they're being treated humanely, and with some human decency, with some respect, and so that way, when they come home, they're able to be law-abiding citizens and possibly my neighbor, without me having to worry about, individuals recidivizing back into the prison system.
I want to first acknowledge that we as a society must become more aware. With that, this is about having candid conversations with one another about what truly being aware means. It's about comprehending someone else's struggles on more than a baseline level, and it's about caring. It's about recognizing that maybe how we've gone about things isn't the most effective way, and it's something we in our current generation can make a change. It's about recognizing if healing and grace and mercy can occur, systems can evolve and grow which support human dignity, human rights, and the ability for evolution within those systems. Awareness is saying, I don't know everything on the subject matter, I'm not the expert, but I have the ability to listen. While I have a voice to speak up, I have ears to hear those that have gone through it firsthand, who have experienced the wounds, and who need to be heard. Because simply listening with the intent to do nothing is not acceptable. So why are we holding an awareness event? We're holding it because it's an opportunity for the community to get involved, engaged, and to start to better understand the struggles that those who have been incarcerated may face on a day-to-day basis, when they're coming out, when they're returning to the communities, and when they've been in the systems themselves. It's an awareness opportunity to say, hey, what's changing? What is working? What is happening that's positive? What is happening that might be negative or neutral? And what can we do to better understand these things? The awareness component is that initial call to action of, now that I know better, how can I do better? How can we support one another in the community we live in? And how can we make it a safer and better place for all of us that are in it?
This is probably not the best shirt to wear for a job interview, but I might as well. Every single time I walk into a job interview, I have to talk with complete strangers about the worst moments of my life. Are you aware that over 70 million Americans carry arrest or conviction records? Here's a pretty staggering statistic. The justice-impacted people, research shows that employees with criminal records have equal or higher retention and performance rates compared to those without records. Breaking the cycle of incarceration starts with opportunity. It reduces recidivism, it strengthens the workforce, and it saves taxpayers billions in correctional costs every year. Keep that in mind as you make HR decisions and policy decisions, and you employers as you make hiring decisions.